Hey, what's up, guys? Y'all sitting in with Judah Kell, and unlike the insight with Judah Kell, this right here is a different approach what I'm going to take. This is actually a snippet of my podcast, which is titled KELL Creates, which you can also catch sneak peeks on my playlist on the Insight with Judah Kell. Right now, I'm sitting in with a good friend of mine by the name of Mel, who's also an entrepreneur. And what we are going to talk about right now is relationships. So, past, present, future goals, whatever. Let's get into it. So, Mel, how do you feel about a person that you used to talk to, you was in love with, and that person still have feelings for you, but you don't have the same feelings for that individual. You want to move on, but something keep pulling you back towards that individual. And even though you want to move on, that pull also is what's keeping you grounded and make you want to go back. But what's pulling you away is remembering why you left in the first place. So if you ever had an experience like that, share a little bit of that with me, and I'll give you my take on that.
I mean, my take on it is most women, I'm gonna say most people do that. They do that a lot. You know, they break up, get back together, break up, get back together. But I started realizing as I got older, the reason why you keep breaking up in the first place is the reason why you should stay away from that person. Either that or you have to come to grips with who you love and accept them for who they are. And my issue, I know for me, my issue in the past was seeing somebody, seeing their potential, trying to push them to that potential and not accepting them for who they are and trying to change them. And then eventually realizing this is who that person is, you know, and I can't change that person. So it's either you love that person for who they are or you keep it moving.
So, you know, my reaction to what you just said is, I think in order for a person to try to prevent those type of measures, I think that a person should, instead of meeting a person and try to groom them into being who they want that person to be, you know, I think that a person should at least try to meet the person who they seek out the most, the person who's an ideal individual to them. Therefore, it may still be a little work to do, a little adjustments. However, it won't be as much, opposed to someone who has no type of goals, who's not business minded like yourself, someone who wants to grow and develop things with an individual. I think to make it easier on everyone, meet a person that has minimum or some type of qualifications of what you seek in an individual. And that way you can kind of balance it out and make it work.
So how would you go about knowing that this is the person who I want to go forward with? Okay, they have these. Do you feel like you should take your time with that person? Like, should you jump in head first, and you should already know? Like, how would you go about, you know, knowing that's that person?
That's an interesting angle. Very interesting. First and foremost, you don't dive into any situation. I don't give a damn how tempting it is, how bright it shines. You do not just dive into any situation because, you know, knowing is knowing.
Right.
You know, and the more that you learn, the more you realize you didn't know. That's just life. Therefore, everything take measures. Everything start out as, you know, a feel for a person, and in order to get that feel, it takes two things: being around a person physically and communicating with an individual. You know, the more you communicate with an individual, the more you will learn a person. The more you're around a person physically, the more you can pick up on the body language when you ask them certain questions and seeing the certain things that you ask them aggravate them or irritate them. Figuring a person out. even though you could try your best to figure a person out, you're never gonna know a person. Because in the beginning, everybody has this smile, everybody's charming, everyone is opening the door for you, everyone is holding an umbrella for you in the rain, they calling you 3 times a day, they texting you throughout the day, and fast forward months later, you barely hearing from that individual. You literally have to call that person to see if that person is still alive. Or you calling that person to see where they stand in your life. But the overall thing is this. You know, all of that stuff I just said was for shits and giggles. The overall thing is this. You're never going to know who is the right person for you. The only thing you can kind of go off of is the energy that you feel from that person. The true energy. Not the energy that they display by force, but the energy that you pick up spiritually from that individual. What you sense. You know, we know bad energy when it's around us. You know, you can walk into a room and you just know the individuals in there are no good. Sometimes you can walk into an environment and just know that everyone is in here, is on the same page, which is great. So that is a mystery that no one could probably answer. However, you'll have to just take your chances. And I could just end that with this. No road to a great relationship is smooth.
That's the truth. It gives some work.
I agree. So, being that you are an entrepreneur, right? And you had this entrepreneurial mind state for many years. And obviously you doing it all by yourself, which shows strength. You know, showing your worth as a woman and doing all this without the guidance or the support of a man. You know, what would be your advice to women that want to get in your position, but they feel they need a man in order to get there?
Well, I've definitely felt that way because I was in a relationship for a long time, and I did depend on that masculine energy for me to, you know, operate and do certain things. But I had to realize that if I wait around, like, nobody's coming. So if I build myself up, you know, I build myself up. First of all, I have to take care of myself and I have to take care of my children. And once I work on myself and build myself up, I will meet my match. So nobody's coming. You know, you have to work on yourself and then your significant other will come. So it's not about sitting there waiting for somebody, because you could possibly waiting for forever.
And that's a funny thing that you mentioned that, because like you, I too know what it's like to be an entrepreneur. And the problem with us is we meet people once the struggle is kind of like dissipated a little bit. So it's kind of hard to distinguish who is really there for you, who is really there for you and who not. That's why most entrepreneurs, they kind of remain single and they become comfortable with that, because you really don't know why a person is there. You understand? Women go through it, men go through it. And my saying used to always be this here. If you wasn't there with me building this up, you know, or you was watching me, and now that it's there, you want to reap the benefits, and it's to a point to where you see you're not reaping the benefits, and I had to make a decision, whether it's you or this path to success, I'll be telling you bye. Bye. Because one thing about a relationship, relationships come a dime a dozen. It's nothing. God makes no mistakes. It's a new baby born every day. Okay? So that is going to be an unlimited flow of life coming into this world. However, the chances of being successful, sometimes you don't even get the opportunity. Therefore, when you get the opportunity, you take the bull by its horns and you go for it full-fledged. Whether that's people that's supporting you, people that's not supporting you, people that got your back, or a man that's trying to come at what you got, or a woman that's trying to come at what you got, regardless of what it is. If they wasn't there with you while you was trying to do it, well, let me take that back.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Let me take that back. Let me take that back, because if they could come in and contribute to what you're doing,
exactly. There we go.
If they could come in and contribute to what you're doing and y'all both share that same mind state, then the sky's the limit. Y'all go for it. Because a lot of people talk about building. All the women talk about, I want a man I could build with. Men don't too much say that, but women always say that.
Really?
Women say that a lot. They want somebody to build with. When they say that, what exactly does that mean in your opinion? I want somebody to build with.
I mean, I guess for everybody, it's gonna mean something different. I know with me, everybody has a level of comfortability where they're content. You might be content with being, your level of success is way up here while this person is satisfied with being here when it comes down to money and success. So when I say building, I mean, I'm in a place where I want to keep going and keep growing, and I want to do it with somebody because I'm not content. So if I meet somebody who is content, I'm not going to be able to build with them, and all I'm going to do is annoy them, and they're going to annoy me because they're fine. They're happy, and I'm just, aggravating them. So when it comes to building for me is building generational wealth. Like, it just depends on what success is to you. Having passive income, building generational wealth. That's what I want to do, being able to give back before I leave this realm. So that's what building is for me.
Okay.
Even the spiritual and the physical aspect.
She's on her grind. Quick question. Worst relationship you ever been in?
Ooh. I don't like to talk about people.
No names, no locations. Quick 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, worst relationship you ever been in?
Oh my gosh. The worst relationship I ever been in, it was somebody who has the ability and the power
25 seconds
to get a lot of money and blows it in 2 seconds.
Wow.
And out of nowhere have not even $5.
So did that make that the worst relationship?
Yeah.
Because that person can't manage money?
It's not.
You mean to tell me that person didn't break your heart?
No, it's hard for me to manage money. There's a lot of things that I could deal with. There's things that I can't deal with.
Right.
So if you tell me you have $10,000 to help me put down on a house and you holding it, and then next thing you know you lying saying you got it and it's gone, then how? If I'm going through the process and you're not dependable.
Yeah, that there was an interesting conversation. We had a lot to talk about. We had a lot of fun as well on this show. Unfortunately, due to a corrupted file, the video was distorted and my guest had to leave and attend to business. However, in the future, I will be having other guests on the show who will come on and express things as far as what they have going on business-wise, as well as just regular conversation on common topics. And believe me, every show will be interesting. You could catch KELL Creates on iHeartRadio, as well as iTunes and YouTube in the future. Most definitely, I keep you guys abreast, and I wish you all the best. And remember, the sky's the limit, and don't let nothing hold you back from progressing to be greater than where you stand at in life at the moment. Because there is always light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how dark or dim it seemed to look. Believe in yourself, aim high, and don't stop at nothing. You have to be relentless, no matter what. You have to be who you are in this world and show the world your greatness. Until next time, y'all go to KELL Creates and check me out.